Welcome back, guys. Unknown003 here, coming at you with another Killer Instinct character tutorial. And this time we got ourselves General RAAM, the last guest character of the game. And honestly, as much as I hate to admit it, probably the most forgettable character. Although it is really awesome, he's from the Gears of War series. He doesn't really have too much in his arsenal for people to kind of like experiment with. Like, he's a very simple character, especially if you are one into like grappling and take like chip damage and stuff like that. But anyway, we'll explain more about it in just a second. But yeah, so first off, like, you got his normals. His normals are actually pretty decent, especially his heavy punch here, as you can see. His crouching punch as well is somewhat decent. If someone is trying to cross you up, he actually has a pretty good crouching heavy punch to basically throw him out or just keep him away. But aside from that, like, even with his heavy kick, which is supposed to be, stagger, and of course you can combo into like the heavy version of it, of his down forward punch. It isn't really that far distance, as you can see, which is surprising because even his crouching heavy kick isn't really that much distance, especially for his height. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of his normals, if you will. And yeah, like his forward medium kick, for example, is kind of like a fake stomp. You could use it to kind of like get closer to someone. But yeah, like aside from that, if you notice, he is incredibly imposing just because of how tall this bastard is. But he is also like really slow. His dashing makes him a little bit quicker, but that's pretty much the gist of it, because he doesn't really have like a lot of like zoning, if any zoning at all. If anything, he's supposed to be like a train to kind of just get in your face and deal the damage. So let's go ahead and start with this basic special move, the down forward punch. Just a simple lunging attack. You know, obviously used as a linker as well. Shadow version looks like this. Just a tons of shanking. And the ender of it is a wall splat, so of course if you are near a wall, you can do this. Bam, into grab, and then just bam, go to him. Because he is pretty damaging for the most part. You know, like, although he lacks like the combo variety, he is a damaging character, so there's at least that for him. But yeah, that's the gist of his down forward punch. Very straightforward. And as for his down back punch, this is his command grab. Very quick, as you can see. So if somebody does hit you like with a very unsafe move, you could do a very quick punish for it. So there are actually two things that you can do if the opponent is on the floor. I'll kind of show you an example here. So if they are knocked down, you can either choose light kick, which is kind of a flip out of the stomp, or you could choose to do medium kick, which is constantly stomping them on the floor while at it. It's not very damaging, but you do get that extra bit of damage over time, which is good on finishing off an opponent. And then of course you could throw a light kick in there to flip them out, catch them off guard, especially when you're in the middle of, you know, like spamming a medium. Bam. You could do that, or you could do just immediate command grab and guarantee yourself at least 12%, which is pretty good, right? And yeah, that's like the gist of it. Obviously with this, it doesn't have a linker. But if you do the ender, this is going to be where the damage comes in, as you can see. A very simple combo there, and it does almost half your health. It's pretty damn good. And not to mention the fact that if you do the shadow version of it, like damn 60%, right? Like 61 is pretty wild. But yeah, I'd say the main thing about General RAAM is that with his linkers, they are kind of predictable because of the fact that he has only one linker in the game. If you want to also include the shadow version of the shank here. But that is pretty much it for him in terms of lingers, man. So it can make him a little predictable. But again, when you have like the counter breaker mechanic, if you do catch somebody that's like constantly breaking you, you can throw him off, guarantee yourself some like heavy damage, and then just go to town. Bam. And it's gonna hurt, you know? So that's the gist of it for that. His other special moves are his Kryll armor. You could also, so with this, it's like all 3 punches. Think of it as kind of like a armor for him. He'll take a hit, and if you do also hit the opponent with it, you notice like the Kryll kind of surrounding the character. They do deal a little bit of damage over time, and you can choose to hold it as well. It does basically the same thing, but yeah, you kind of get the gist of it. And yeah, like his next move is going to be his down forward kick. This one just depends on what you do here. You could do the low version. That way it makes them like invulnerable to like low attacks. You could do the medium here, which is basically an anti-air. If somebody is trying to like cross you up, you just press that move. And this one is just overall. And they ultimately do the same thing as like the all 3 punch move, to where the Kryll just surrounds the character and just deals damage over time. So yeah, that's the gist of it for that. And if you want to do like a wake up or a get away from me move, you want to do the shadow version of it. So down forward all 3 kicks, or 2 kicks, you know, you get the point. It's somewhat damaging, but again, the ultimate result is that the Kryll will constantly surround the character. They will go away, however, if you do get knocked down. So you do got to be careful for that. But yeah, that's the gist of it for that move. His other special move is going to be the down back kick. I like to think of this as like his like running train move, with like just the train horn in the distance. He runs at the character and does a command grab. Of course, you could jump over him, but again, you know, like it's just a fun move to kind of spam, especially with people that are somewhat new to the game. It is an imposing and dangerous thing to run into, but again, just like the other moves, the ultimate result is that he does deal some damage and leaves a Kryll swarm around the opponent so that they will deal damage over time. And of course, if they knock you down, they're gonna get rid of the Kryll swarm around them. So yeah, that's the gist of it for that one. We'll go ahead and show you the special move of it, or the shadow move, excuse me. Exact same thing, roughly. So you actually cannot use the shadow version of it during a combo, which is unfortunate, but it makes sense, you know? So you could do it like something like this, and then just immediate, like on wake up, you just catch them with that. If they jump, that will be the weakness, of course, but think of it kind of like a mini Raging Demon, to where it's like a zoning grab without like the damage output. But anyways, yeah, that's the gist of all his special moves. So now we'll go straight into his instinct, because again, there isn't really too much in his arsenal. It really just comes from his command grabs and just punishing you, throwing him off, you know, using the Kryll attack so that they deal damage over time. But yeah, so now we'll get into his instinct. So for one, the basic thing it does is, as you can see on the top right, it deals potential damage over time. Which means that if you were to hit like one of the damaging grab ender, it is gonna hurt a lot for the character. So I'll show you a little bit of like what that entails. But before we do, let's go into some of the other things that he can do during it. So with the punch move, the all 3 punches, he could actually move while doing that move on instinct. It's only on instinct. So you could do that. You would make yourself invulnerable once again. or like get yourself a hit of armor, which is very beneficial to you. But yeah, like ultimately, this really just comes from laying out the damage, as you can see here. Look at that damage, dude. Like freaking 90% damage. And that's why he definitely has one of the most like dangerous instincts in the game, because of the fact that all of that damage capability is right there. But again, he ultimately needs to actually hit you with it in order to go through, because he doesn't have a command grab or anything like that to confirm into a combo, unfortunately. But again, he is an opposing figure, so he'll just make it up with whatever we can here. So yeah, so it's really just a lot of shankings that you're gonna see from this character, and even some like shadow grab enters here, that a lot of the damage really comes in. So yeah, this is basically it for General RAAM. Like I said, he doesn't really have a lot in his arsenal, but the moves that he has, like all of them does have some sort of purpose. You know, because if I did also forget to mention that he does also get a hit of let's see, projectile invincibility for this. Hold on. Yeah, as you can see, and that's really where the danger kind of comes in, because bam, and if he does the shadow version of it, it completely goes to projectiles. So very dangerous if you were trying to zone him. But again, he doesn't really have a ton of anti-zoning options aside from like the running attack here. So yeah, that is basically it for General RAAM, guys. Again, if this was easy to understand, that I did my job. Otherwise, you know, I did what I could at the end of the day. But anyways, that is it for General RAAM. Next week we're gonna be driving with Idol, I believe. Yeah, it's gonna be with Idol and another giant character. We're getting the rest of the giant characters out of the way from what it seems like, huh? But yeah, until then, this has been Unknown003 signing out. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Fight on, everyone.